How's it going, everyone? The PlayStation Store is running its Critics' Choice sale, and they've got a lot of great deals under the price of $10. We already highlighted deals under $5. We went over some historic lows. Now we got deals under $10. So let's just get right into it, and let's get started with Kingdom Come Deliverance Royal Edition, which is 80% off for $7.99. Now, as of the recording of this video, the PlayStation 5 version of KCD has not been officially revealed. However, it is being heavily rumored, and they had a listing on the PlayStation Store that has since been pulled. So I don't think it's a bad time to pick this up, especially if they do plan on ending up juicing up the price point of the game, which we've seen in the past. Not necessarily that the standard price of KCD Royal Edition is $40. However, the discounted price point, I could see that go up. That's what happened with Witcher 3 when the upgrade came out. They didn't up Witcher 3 from its standard $60 price point, but the discount wasn't as steep that they were offering for a while. Ultimately, even if they do that, it'll get back down to the price. We saw that happen with Witcher 3, but I'm just bringing that to you guys. As far as KCD 1 is concerned, I do recommend you to play the game before KCD 2. However, KCD 2, even post-upgrade, is going to be the better game. I think KCD 2 is a more refined, a more polished game, but the games are narrative-heavy, so it's worthwhile to go through the first game, so I would recommend you to do that, but, you know, going through two super lengthy RPGs, I don't know how many of you guys want to do that, but nevertheless, great pickup there for $7.99. You get all the DLC, so I would say that's a good shout. Then we have Dying Light Definitive Edition, 80% off for $9.99. I did a playthrough of Dying Light not too long ago, right before Dying Light the Beast was coming out, and this is one of those games that going back and playing through it, even a decade later, I appreciate it even more. A lot of that is because of the open world design. Dying Light is an open world action title that isn't a colossal open world, and I think that works so much in favor to a lot of these games where there's actual meaningful choices made in how the world is structured, especially with the verticality and the parkour in Dying Light. That I thought it was great, especially, you know, playing a lot of these open world games these days. I just feel like they just go big for the sake of being big, and it just becomes mundane going through it. Dying Light I really did enjoy, and going back and playing through it again, I think it was worthwhile, and if you never played it, definitely a good shout there. This gets you the following expansion as well, so I think that's a great pickup. Would highly recommend it. Next up, we got BioShock the Collection, 80% off for $9.99. BioShock 1, 2, and Infinite. I am one of the people that liked BioShock Infinite the most. I know that's a little bit of a hot take. To be fair, BioShock 1 came out in 2007, and I was still fairly young back then, so maybe I just didn't appreciate BioShock 1 when it came out initially. BioShock Infinite I played right when it dropped, and I was blown away by that game. I thought the aesthetics were great. I thought the gameplay was so good, and narratively quite good as well. And BioShock 2, while it's certainly the game that's forgotten about in the series, it's still a worthwhile game to go through. Not at the level of 1 or Infinite, but still a really, really good game, so I certainly would recommend that as well. The collection for $9.99, no-brainer there. Hopefully, you know, the franchise isn't completely dead, but we'll see. $9.99 on that. Then we got Mafia Definitive Edition, 85% off for $5.99. Oftentimes, I do recommend the Mafia trilogy, so you got Mafia 1, 2, and 3 all in one pack, but if you just want to pick up one of the games, Mafia Definitive Edition is a really good pickup. This is one of those games that I personally really enjoy given the current climate of gaming where you do have so many super lengthy games. I know your guys' backlogs are filled with games that are 50, 60, 70 hours long, maybe even well over that, that sometimes when you play through a game like that, or 2, 3 games like that, that it's good to play a game that's 8 to 10 hours, narrative heavy, all killer, no filler, and I feel like Mafia has that. You know, I say all killer, no filler, you know, obviously outside of that racing section in this game, and the racing section sucks in the old country as well. Hangar 13, I think y'all just gotta throw in the towel as far as racing sections go in these Mafia games. We don't want them, alright there? We don't want them, although in Mafia 1, it's way worse than it is in Old Country, but Mafia 1's racing section is so bad. But yes, mostly all killer, no filler. $5.99 on that, good pickup there. A Plague Tale Innocence, 75% off for $9.99. And once again, much like Mafia, I think fits that same criteria of being a narrative-heavy game that's not super on the lengthy side. Love this game from an atmosphere and ambiance standpoint. I just think they knocked it out of the park as far as that's concerned, and just a really, really well-done game, and I would highly recommend you to go through and play through this, then play through Requiem. Requiem is great as well, but it's a direct sequel, so obviously play this first. And visually looks fantastic. And it's one of those narrative-heavy games that you know, give this game 30 to 45 minutes, not even that long, honestly, and it'll hook you pretty quickly. I just think the atmosphere in the game is so drawing, and just a great title. Gameplay isn't blow away, but it's totally serviceable as well. Next up, we got Resident Evil Revelations, the 1 and 2 bundle. I often talk about Revelations being super underrated. Revelations 2, I think, is super underrated as well. And you get both these titles here for $7.49. Revelations 1 started as a 3DS title, and then they ported it to a bunch of other platforms as well. And then Revelations 2 was like an episodic game, which was a little bit weird for a Resident Evil game, but I thought it was pretty good. These games are not blow away relative to, you know, some of the more recent titles, and these games came out also at, I think, one of the lower periods for Resident Evil. You're talking about, you know, Resident Evil 6 had just come out, Revelations was a 3DS title, so some people just didn't play it, and then Revelations 2, I feel like, came out during one of the lowest periods of all time for Resident Evil, and the series wasn't at the level that it is now. But you want to know what did bring the series back to a high level? I think a lot of people would agree. It was Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition, which is 75% off for $9.99. You get the DLC here as well, and this game is great. It really goes back to the horror roots of Resident Evil, which might not be for everyone. I know some people like the more action focus that like an RE4 had, but still very much worthwhile to go through. Play through this, then play through Village, and then Requiem is coming out in just a few short weeks, and obviously, you know, I'm incredibly excited about that. So $9.99 for Resident Evil 7 Biohazard Gold Edition, definitely recommend that. Next up, we have Monster Hunter Rise and Sunbreak, 84% off for $9.59. Whenever this goes on sale for sub $10, I just think it's an outstanding deal. You know, I'm not the biggest Monster Hunter guy in the world, but I definitely get why people get super into them, and I've been playing the games for a long time. Like, your boy was on Monster Hunter Freedom on the PSP, but, you know, I just enjoy the games for what they are, but then I kind of move on. I know these are games that people, like, perpetually play year-round and have hundreds of hours into it. I don't really play them like that, but Rise was a worthwhile game. Mechanically and gameplay-wise, I think it's a little bit more of a fast-paced, action-oriented title, but I thought it worked pretty well. $9.59 on that, pretty good deal there, and you get the Sunbreak expansion as well. Next up, you got Yakuza Like a Dragon, 60% off for $7.99. Loved Yakuza Like a Dragon, and I actually don't think this is a bad starting point for Yakuza. It really just comes down to, do you want to play an action beat-em-up game? Then you go Yakuza 0. Do you want to play a turn-based RPG? Then you go Yakuza Like a Dragon. Whichever one you want to play, just go with that. And, you know, some people like Kiryu better than Ichiban. I personally think Ichiban is the best character RGG has put out, but that's because Ichiban, like, clicks with me. I'm all about, like, the zero to hero archetype is always something I'm gonna get down with, and you know, a 40-year-old that's as lackadaisical and kind of goofy as Ichiban is, that's gonna click with me more so than what Kiryu is. Kiryu is a great character as well, but Ichiban, for my taste out of a character, I really did resonate with him. And, yeah, kind of, you know, it's a lot of those cliche tropes, never give up and all that nonsense, but I feel like Yakuza Like a Dragon really executes on those themes really well. And yeah, just a game that has a very serious story at times, but just so many good vibes as well, where I didn't really have that going through the Kiryu Yakuza games. Like, Yakuza Like a Dragon, I feel, is a real feel-good kind of game, so I would recommend it. $7.99, definitely a great title there. Streets of Rage 4, 65% off for $8.74. What an awesome game this is. Action beat-em-up title that's super replayable, phenomenal art style, and it's a .emu title, who .emu have been gaining so much steam recently with all of the great titles they've been putting out. But yeah, Streets of Rage 4 was excellent. By the way, they recently did Shinobi Art of Vengeance, which their track record of taking some of these classic IPs, modernizing them a little bit, making them engaging for a new audience, because I didn't really grow up playing Streets of Rage. I didn't grow up playing Shinobi, but you can tell that they've got an old school vibe to them, but also from a visual standpoint, they are so alluring. They do have so much style to them that it's worthwhile playing them even in the modern era. And I think for $8.74, this is a great deal. Next up, we have another RGG title, Judgment, 75% off for $9.99. Now, Judgment isn't a bad starting point for the RGG games either. It is kind of its own story, so just keep that in mind. It's not really going to connect to the Yakuza titles, at least not yet anyway, but they are worthwhile games to go through, Judgment and Lost Judgment, that is. And if you find Yakuza to be a bit of an undertaking task, given that it's Yakuza 0 all the way through Yakuza 6, Like a Dragon, then you have Infinite Wealth, then you have Pirate Yakuza, like, there's a lot of games. Well, Judgment is just a 1-2 punch. There's Judgment, Lost Judgment, and Judgment, like I said, tells tells its own self-contained, really worthwhile story. So I would say for $9.99, it's a great pickup. Highly recommend that. Then we do have Catherine Full Body Edition, 80% off for $7.99. If you want something a little bit quirky, a little bit zany, Catherine will definitely be right up your alley. And I say a little bit, no, there's a lot of quirkiness and a lot of zaniness when it comes to Catherine. I played this game back when it initially came out on the PlayStation 3 and had a great time with it back then. Puzzle gameplay is fine, but worthwhile game to go through, a lot of different routes as well. And yeah, kind of wacky, but definitely I say that in a good way. Next up, we have It Takes Two, 80% off for $7.99. Obviously, Hazelight has become beloved as far as their co-op titles go, and they've really found and carved a, I don't want to even say a niche for themselves, because niche would tell you that these games haven't been selling well, but they've been selling millions and millions of copies, maybe because they're one of the few studios that really focus in on those co-op titles, and that means these games are co-op only. So for those of you that don't have the mythical creature that is known as a friend, I'm sorry, you might be a little bit out of luck when it comes to this one. But if you can find a friend to play with, and trust me, when Split Fiction came out, I had to search far and wide last year to find somebody to play the game with, so you guys aren't alone, but you can do it, I know it. $7.99 for It Takes Two is great. This is another kind of feel-good game that if you want to play it with your significant other, you know, pretty good time there for sure. You know, the Hazelight games are obviously always gonna fit that criteria, but $7.99, good pickup there. We got Detroit Become Human, 50% off for $9.99. Yeah, we're gonna go from feel-good kind of games to Detroit Become Human, which has a very mature and emotional narrative. You know, decision-based game done by Quantic Dream. If you're not familiar with their games, I always recommend that you play these games blind and you don't go online and look for guides on how to do specific choices. I think one of the big aspects of this game is that you make these decisions and you want these decisions to have consequence. And yeah, if you beat the game and you want to play through it again, by all means, play through it again, look up a guide, do whatever the hell you want as far as that's concerned. But your first playthrough, I really think should be blind. But yeah, $9.99 on that is great. And then we'll wrap things up with the Metro Saga bundle. That is 85% off for $8.99. Metro 2033, Last Light, and Metro Exodus. A lot of great games there. First-person shooters that aren't super lengthy. Exodus does expand it a little bit. You get all the DLC with these games as well, and for $8.99, a great pickup there. Hopefully, we'll get a new mainline Metro title. I know they did the Metro VR game, but a Metro 4 would be excellent. But Saga Bundle, $8.99, great pickup there. But that is going to do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, links to all of these deals will be in the description box below. Sound off down below. Thank you for watching, and goodbye. Hey guys, we hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, make sure to hit the subscribe button, and if you're already subscribed, do us a favor and hit the bell icon. This way you'll be notified whenever we post a new video. That's the best way to keep up with all of our uploads, and we usually try to upload 2 videos a day. And with the bell icon hit, you'll be notified whenever we do upload a video. As always, thanks for watching.